Hey there, this is Mrs. Dietz. I just wanted to create a quick tutorial on how you can set up your literature response log. Sometimes you'll also hear it referred to as the LRL for short. The purpose of your LRL is that it gives you an opportunity to respond to some of the literature and the different texts that we'll be reading throughout the semester. And so this is just a good way for you to be able to respond and voice your opinions, practice your writing skills, and for me to be able to read them and kind of start a conversation with you about those texts that we're reading. So if you skim through this, the purpose of the LRL I kind of already went through with you, but it's really an opportunity to require you to think critically about the information you've been assigned to read. You're going to synthesize your thoughts about the text and then convey your ideas concisely in one paragraph. To create an LRL, what you're going to do is you're first going to pull up a Word document. So on my computer, I would go here. I'd pull up a new Word document, and then I'm just going to title that American Literature Response Log. I'm going to change all this to size 12 font and Times New Roman just because that's usually pretty standard. Perfect. Okay, going back to our instructions that we have, it says creating an LRL is easy and simple. To begin, you open a new Word document, which I just did, and write the title American Literature Response Log at the top. Next, save this document to a folder on your computer using the following title: last name, first name, American Lit Response Log. So if I go back to the page that I've pulled up, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to title it. So last name for me is Dietz, my first name is Misty, and then I want to type in American, Lit Response Log, and then hit save. Perfect. Okay, going back to our instructions, it says, how do you create a specific entry? So today you're just setting this up, but later on this week you're going to have your first LRL entry. So for each entry you're assigned in this class, you'll create the following heading in your response log. So before you respond, you need to write down the title, the author, the date, and then the question. So we're going to pretend that this information here is our question, even though it's not. So in my response log, I'm going to type in the title. In this example is The Raven. The author, for this example, Edgar Allan Poe. The date, for this example, 9/27/2012. We're going to time travel back in time for this. And then the question. So this particular question says, how does Poe incorporate the literary device of repetition into his poem, and what effect does this device have on the reader? And again, this is not a question you'll have to answer. This is just a sample, but that's how you'll start your entry. Then I'm going to come down here, I'm going to indent, and I'm going to begin to write my response. Now when it comes time for your response, there are some specific requirements that you have if you want to get full points. Let's take a look at those. Okay, here it explains how your LRL is going to be graded. So your LRL will be graded based on the following criteria: completion of all assigned entries. So if you have 3 assigned entries in a unit, you need to have all of them done. Each entry is a solid paragraph in length, so a minimum of 6 sentences, although you can most definitely have more, and you will sometimes find that you may need more. And it should contain the following: a clear topic sentence that answers the prompt, 2 to 3 pieces of evidence or examples from the text or other sources when appropriate. For each example or piece of evidence that you use to support your topic sentence, you must also include a thorough reflection or analysis of that example or piece of evidence. So what does it mean? How does it support your topic sentence? You also need to have a closing sentence that summarizes and brings your response to an end. Each entry contains evidence of effort and thoughtful analysis. Each entry fully answers the question asked. And then each entry contains proper sentence structure and is written in the third person. On this document that you're able to access in the course, it gives you an example. So here is what we used on our own sample when I created my own. You have the title, the author, the date, the question, and then here is the beginning of a response. I'm not going to read the whole response to you because you have access to this document yourself, and so I'll let you guys read that yourself. But I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what you needed to do and how to set this up. If this was my response, I'm going to kind of copy and paste this here. So if I come over here, so this is my paragraph, I'm done. When it comes time to answer the next one, I'm just going to start a new entry. I'm going to leave this in, and I'm going to start a new entry. I'm going to fill out the title. I'm going to fill out the author. I'm going to fill out the date. I'm going to fill out the LRL question. And then from there, I'm going to type in the LRL question and I'm going to respond to my prompt. So you're just going to keep adding to this throughout the semester. By the end, you might have 20 entries, maybe more, maybe a little bit less. But you'll just add your entries to this every time. It's kind of like a running document. And I will usually collect them at the end of a unit. So for this unit, you might have 2 or 3 questions that you answered. I'll create a Dropbox. You'll submit it to the Dropbox for grading. I'll return it to you, and of course you'll have your copy of it on your computer, and when you get that new LRL question, you'll just come right back to this document, even if it's already been graded, and you'll continue to add LRL entries to it. If by chance you get stuck or you have questions, please shoot me a K-mail or stop by my open office hours so that I can go through it with you.